First of all, let us get oriented with the picture. You can see the pelvis here, right and the left hip bone, the sacrum in the center, and in front the pubis. Now, the last three lumbar vertebrae, that is L3, L4 and L5, can be seen articulating here. Now, here is your right femur and the left femur, and the hip joint is hidden with the muscles. Now look at, let's start from the lumbar vertebrae. Can you see this muscles originating from the last three lumbar vertebrae? This muscle is the psoas major. The psoas muscle arises from here and it enters the pelvis, cruises through the inside the pelvis, goes underneath the inguinal ligament, crosses the hip joint and get inserted into the lesser trochanter. So now this is, you can very well make out it is a flexor of the hip joint. If this muscle contracts, the hip joint flexes. Similarly, the another muscle arising from the iliac fossa, on the right and left iliac fossa, that is the iliacus muscle. So this muscle also has the same insertion as that of the psoas major. So together we call it as the iliopsoas. So the iliopsoas gets inserted into the lesser trochanter of the femur and helps in flexion of the hip joint. One more muscle which is also a flexor, a weak flexor of the hip joint, is the pectineus. This arises from the pectineal line here and get inserted into the lesser trochanter. So together these three muscles helps in the flexion of the hip joint. Now laterally you can see the sartorius arising from the anterosuperior spine, crossing the hip joint and going down to the knee joint. So this is also a flexor. Okay. And medial most you can see an adductor longus muscle. This adductor longus will help in the adduction, as the name implies. Now the last, you have to understand this ligament arising from the ASIS in getting inserted the pubic tubercle. This is the inguinal ligament. Now the muscles in the red are flexors, which forms the floor of the femoral triangle. The adductor longus, the major part of the adductor longus, also forms the floor of the femoral triangle, while the sartorius and the medial border of the adductor longus forms the boundary of the femoral triangle along with the inguinal ligament, which forms the base of the femoral triangle. Thank you.